From an eyeball-destroying metropolis to Superman getting arrested and going to prison, I watched the Superman trailer in 0.25x speed and found details you probably didn't notice unless you watched it over 100 times like me. So let's break it down. Clark Kent and Lois Lane are already in love, and this time, their relationship will be different from how the comics, animation, and movies usually portray it. Usually, the relationship between Clark and Lois is that Clark spends time pining after Lois. She'd ignore him at first, and his nerdy appearance would fool her. However, she would start to pay attention to him after a while, fall in love with him, and begin to wonder why Clark and Superman aren't usually in the same place at the same time. Then she'd find out he's Superman after he tells her, or she does some investigative journalism to find out herself.
You are Superman.
Oh, Lois, come on, don't be...
This time, the director of Superman, James Gunn, took that tired and overused template and threw it in the trash. There won't be any awkward romance between the two. They'd go straight into it. While Clark would fool people, it doesn't look like he could fool Lois. He doesn't have to. She already knows he's Superman. In the trailer, when we see Clark and Lois together, he sells the gentle giant gimmick. His clothes are bigger than him, his posture is terrible, and his hair's messy. He is practically invincible, and not many people notice him as he slips into his work desk. But Lois does, and she looks at him like she wants to tear the clothes off his back. That sexy, devouring look is easy to miss, but at 0.25x speed, it isn't. Clark didn't notice Lois's look, but turned to look at her after she had gone by with a slightly surprised look on his face. While the trailer didn't show it, I think what got Clark's attention after Lois passed was because she said something intensely sexy, which Clark heard because of his super hearing. Later, Clark and Lois would have some romantic moments with each other. In some, they were holding hands and sharing sweet looks, and in others, she was frantically getting his clothes off his body. Lois would play an important role in grounding Superman and keeping his link to humanity intact. She would also motivate him to rise above the challenges and do his duty to the people of Metropolis and the world. In one scene of the trailer, when an eye monster is destroying Metropolis, Lois motivates Superman to take on the giant eyeball. Although Superman looked too chill in that scene, preferring to kiss Lois rather than save the city. Lois must be an excellent kisser. It wouldn't be only Lois who would motivate Superman and keep his humanity intact, though. His adoptive dad would also do something similar. In the teaser trailer, Clark and Pa Kent share a moment in front of their farmhouse in Smallville. He passionately grabs his father while looking determined. What did Pa Kent say to Clark to make him look so determined? Superman would need all the motivation and determination he can get because things are about to get real. In the opening part of the trailer, Superman is lying on the snow-filled ground of the Arctic, in a crater made out of his own body. He is badly hurt to the point that he can barely breathe, and his lungs are filled with blood. Superman was so hurt that he found it difficult to whistle at first, but when he finally did, his dog Krypto charged in at super speed to save him. Krypto arrived, his doggy cape with the Superman logo flapping in the wind. Superman instructed the dog to take him home. Home in this conversation meant the Fortress of Solitude, and Krypto dragged Big Blue and Red Trunks by his own cape to the Fortress of Solitude. Unfortunately, the Fortress of Solitude would get attacked later on. It is pretty cool seeing live-action Krypto and how he has the same abilities as Superman. He has super speed, and for him to be able to drag Superman means he is also super strong, just like the person or thing who beat up Superman. While the trailer doesn't say who exactly beat up the Big Blue, it provides possible candidates, and two of them are giant monsters. It isn't a James Gunn movie without giant monsters to fight. In Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the Guardians had to face the Obelisk. In the Suicide Squad, it was Starro, and in Peacemaker, it was Cows. Now, in Superman, it's the giant fire-breathing axolotl and eyeball. These two look capable of making Superman bleed. In the trailer, we see the axolotl bathe Superman in fire, but the Man of Steel just shrugged it off and flew up into the sky. While Superman could easily shrug off the axolotl's attacks, the people of Metropolis can't. In one shot of the trailer, you can briefly see the axolotl crushing and sending debris towards a little girl. However, Superman quickly flew and put his body between the wreckage and the girl. This part of the trailer showed how different James Gunn's Superman is. Zack Snyder's Superman gave the audience epic battles, but there was a problem. Some of the audience didn't like how Superman acted in battle. There's too much death and destruction, and Snyder's Superman didn't care how his battle affected normal people. According to this trailer, James Gunn wants to correct this. His Superman will have situational awareness to make sure people don't get hurt when he fights. In another part of the trailer, Superman fights a metahuman wearing black gear in an empty stadium, probably because he wanted to keep people safe from getting hurt. Speaking of hurt, the Man in Black looks like one of the people capable of hurting Superman, even to the point that he would bleed. That guy tackled the Big Blue across the stadium with one big push and made Superman exert himself. So, who is this guy anyway? I'll get to him soon. Let's talk about Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is one angry and hateful man. And ironically, Superman is the being that inspires these two emotions in Lex. Superman is supposed to inspire hope and positivity in people, but Lex sees him as a threat and is determined to destroy him. From what I have seen in the trailer, Lex has cooked up several ways to destroy Big Blue. And no, I'm not talking about the scene where Lex is holding a huge silver revolver. Unless that gun has Kryptonite bullet, it'll bounce off Superman's skin. According to recent information, one of the methods Lex plans to kill Superman with is using the Eye Monster. And according to this info, there is more to the Eye Monster. James Gunn is determined to make his Superman as close to the comics as possible, so some parts of the movie will feel silly. This decision suits Gunn's style of creating epic action scenes filled with humor and wackiness. The available information on the eye monster is on the wacky and silly side, but it's the only information available. According to an insider of the film, the eye monster, or orb, or whatever you call it, is not a monster, but a black hole that Lex created, which went out of control. First of all, that supposed black hole is a mixture of pink and blue, and it is shooting beams of energy. Black holes don't do that. Second, that black hole looks alive, but in the DC Comics, there is a sentient black hole, and her nickname is Singularity Jane. No one knows what her real name is. Jane roams the universe feeding on the misery of others for both power and sustenance. She definitely would have a lot of misery to feed on because in the trailer, there is an international conflict with rockets being fired around the Baravian border. If Superman doesn't get in her way, that conflict could give Jane all the sustenance she wants. Jane in the comics comes from a race called Motophagus, a special breed of aliens who embody the fundamental force of gravity. The movie could make this lore part of the background for the supposed black hole and say Lex conducted experiments on her that amped up her powers. The black hole experiment wouldn't be Lex's only experiment in the movie. Remember the metahuman in black that fought Superman in an empty stadium? He also could be a creation of Lex. According to set pictures that have made their way onto the internet, that metahuman is dressed in what looks like some kind of black-colored Special Forces tactical gear. He is wearing a black protective mask with black goggles. He seems more of a soldier than an actual comic book villain. The front of his gear has a gray color U emblem on it with a dot inside the U. Now there are rumors that this metahuman is going to be a clone of Superman created by Lex Luthor to destroy Superman. Lex did this in the comics and in some Superman cartoons. Sometimes he created a full clone with Superman's complete DNA, and at other times he created a clone with part of Superman's and his own DNA. If the metahuman is a clone of Superman, it could be why he covered his face in the trailer. Lex could be hiding that he is a clone from people. Also, it could be why the people of Metropolis hate Superman to the point of throwing stuff at him. Maybe the clone has been wreaking havoc with Superman's face. Aside from that, the clone theory is an excellent explanation for having the ability to take Superman on and subdue him, or so you think. More set pictures reveal that the metahuman would arrest Clark. This could be why the trailer showed Superman breaking into a glass prison box. However, that box couldn't have held Superman in the first place unless it had a kryptonite power source to weaken him. This could be where the other heroes come in. The trailer revealed a couple of heroes. There's even a secret one that many of us missed. One of the heroes Superman could get help from is Metamorpho, who appeared briefly in the trailer, and I think he would be key to Superman's story in the movie. Superman could get the help of the trio of Guy Gardner, Hawkwoman, and Mr. Terrific, who are like, they are in a team. Guy and Hawkwoman don't wear their usual costume. Instead, they wear black and white leather uniforms with strips of color from their traditional comic costumes. Guy has strips of green and a patch of the Green Lantern logo on his uniform. Hawkwoman has her wing-tipped yellow and black helmet with yellow strips. Maybe at some point in the movie, they'll ditch the black and white and slip into the costumes we know and love. The three heroes appeared in a scene where Superman looked hurt and dirty from smoke while working on a computer console in a Stag Industries building. Could that scene be the aftermath of his battle with the axolotl? This could also mean that Stag Industries created the kaiju, just as they created Metamorpho. Alternatively, Superman could be looking for a solution to Metamorpho, who in the comics is a victim of Stag Industries, and its villainous owner, Simon Stagg. Whatever the case, Clark has heroes to help him out. And apart from those we've mentioned, there is one more hero who could help out, and many people missed her when she was shown. In the part of the trailer that showed Lex's company, Luthor Corp, someone is moving on the company's roof. According to Gunn, that person is the superhero, the engineer, who has the power to control machines. Superman definitely needs a hero like that since he was struggling with the computers at Stag Industries. This movie is stacked with heroes and villains, which is very exciting, but part of me thinks things could get chaotic. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's have a chat about it.